Growing your own celery at home can be an incredibly rewarding experience. There's a unique satisfaction in harvesting fresh, crisp stalks right from your own space. For many of us, traditional garden space is limited or simply unavailable. This is where container gardening truly shines as a fantastic solution. It allows you to transform even small areas like a balcony, patio, or a sunny windowsill into a productive garden spot. You really can grow delicious celery just steps away. This comprehensive guide will walk you through the entire process, specifically focusing on how to successfully grow celery, starting from tiny seeds right in containers. The very first step on your celery growing journey is to make sure you have all the necessary supplies ready to go. Having everything prepared beforehand makes the process smooth. You will, of course, need celery seeds to begin. Look for fresh seeds from a reputable supplier to ensure good germination rates. Next, select a suitable container for your celery. It's important that the container is at least 6 to 8 inches deep to accommodate the plant's root system as it grows. Crucially, the container absolutely must have drainage holes at the bottom. Proper drainage is vital to prevent waterlogged soil, which can harm your plants. You will also need a high-quality, well-draining potting mix. Avoid using heavy garden soil in containers as it compacts easily and doesn't drain well. A watering can with a gentle spout or a spray bottle will be essential for watering. A spray bottle is particularly useful for the initial delicate watering of seeds. A small trowel or a scoop will help you handle the potting mix neatly. It makes filling your containers much easier and less messy. Optionally, you might find a seed starting tray helpful if you plan to start many seeds before transplanting. This can be a good way to manage germination. Another optional but beneficial item is a balanced liquid fertilizer. You'll use this later to provide nutrients as your celery plants develop. Finally, before you even start planting, choose the right location for your container. Celery needs a spot that receives at least 6 hours of direct sunlight each day for healthy growth. Now that you have all your supplies, it's time to sow your celery seeds. This is an exciting step where the magic begins. Start by filling your chosen container with the well-draining potting mix you prepared. Fill it up close to the top. Leave about an inch of space between the surface of the potting mix and the rim of the container. This gap helps when watering. Gently moisten the soil throughout the container. You want it damp, but not soaking wet or soggy at this stage. Celery seeds are very tiny, so sprinkle them thinly and evenly across the surface of the moistened soil. Try not to clump them together. It is very important not to bury celery seeds too deep. They actually require light to successfully germinate and sprout. Lightly cover the sprinkled seeds with just a very thin layer of potting mix or fine vermiculite. This layer should be barely there. Use a spray bottle or a watering can with a fine rose attachment to gently mist the surface. This settles the seeds without washing them away. Optionally, you can cover the container with plastic wrap or a clear lid. This helps create a humid environment and retains essential moisture for germination. Remember to remove the cover as soon as you see the first tiny seedlings beginning to sprout through the soil surface. Once your celery seeds have germinated and you have tiny seedlings, proper care is crucial for their development. They are still quite delicate at this stage. Place your container in the sunny location you selected earlier. Ensuring they get at least 6 hours of sunlight daily is vital for strong growth. Keep the soil consistently moist as the seedlings grow. Celery needs steady moisture, but be careful not to let the soil become soggy. A good way to check if watering is needed is to feel the top inch of the soil. If it feels dry to the touch, it's time to water gently. If you find that your seedlings have sprouted very close together and look crowded, it's a good idea to thin them out. Carefully remove the weaker seedlings. Leave the strongest, healthiest-looking seedlings spaced appropriately to give them room to grow without competing excessively for resources. After your seedlings have been growing for a few weeks and have developed a few sets of true leaves, you can begin feeding them. Use a balanced liquid fertilizer diluted according to the package instructions. Start with a weaker solution initially to avoid overwhelming the young plants. Follow the instructions on your fertilizer product for how often to feed. Regular, gentle feeding will support vigorous growth. Consistent care during this seedling phase sets the stage for healthy, productive celery plants later on. Pay close attention to their needs. As your celery seedlings continue to grow larger and stronger, they may eventually outgrow their initial container or spacing. This is when transplanting becomes necessary. Gently dig up the seedlings you wish to move, being careful not to damage their delicate roots. A small spoon or trowel can help with this. Transplant them into larger containers, either individually or space several inches apart in a bigger pot, depending on the container size and how many plants you want. Ensure the new containers also have excellent drainage and are filled with fresh potting mix. Water the transplanted seedlings gently after moving them. Continue to provide your growing celery plants with consistent moisture. Celery is a water-loving plant and will become tough and stringy if allowed to dry out. Water deeply when the top inch of soil feels dry, ensuring water drains from the bottom of the container. Avoid letting the pot sit in standing water. Maintain the feeding schedule with your balanced liquid fertilizer as the plants mature. This provides the nutrients needed for lush, green growth. Protect your celery from extreme heat, especially in the peak of summer. Celery prefers cooler temperatures and can bolt, go to seed, in prolonged heat. Consider providing some afternoon shade if you live in a hot climate. This can help keep the plants cool and happy. Keep an eye out for common pests like aphids or slugs. Address any pest issues promptly using appropriate organic methods if possible. As the celery stalks grow taller and thicker, you can begin to harvest individual outer stalks as needed. This encourages the plant to produce more. Alternatively, you can wait until the entire plant reaches a desirable size before harvesting the whole bunch at once. Growing celery from seed in containers requires patience and consistent care, particularly with watering and feeding. But the reward of harvesting your own crisp, flavorful celery makes all the effort worthwhile. Enjoy your homegrown bounty.